The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities, year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hi, Poppy. Hello. Longtime New Orleans artist George Schmidt, who has recently reopened his gallery on Julia Street after a 2-year hiatus. Hi, George. Welcome back. Hey. Also, absolutely, also with us, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. Howdy, Alan. Hello. Hi. Poppy, you have a suggestion for keeping cool?
Well, I have a suggestion for how to have a lot of fun. And it all kicks off on Sunday. And of course, what I'm talking about, Tales of the Cocktail. 20 years of Tales of the Cocktail finally is back in person. And so, of course, that is going to bring the international bar community from all over the world to New Orleans for a fun-packed 5 days. And it all kicks off on Sunday with Speed Rack. Now, this is Speed Rack Season 10 finale. This is an all-female, high-speed bartending competition that has raised over $1 million to date for breast cancer research. So this year, there's going to be 18 participants from across the U.S., and that is going to really kick off some of the fun at Tales Week. Sunday from 3 until 7 p.m. at the Republic. Tickets are just $25, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Pink Agenda. So, Tales does run Sunday through Friday. This is a little bit of a change. I think everybody's used to Tales being Tuesday through Sunday, so it's a little different. And, oh my goodness, there's so much fun to have. It really kicks off, there's a great toasting event at the Ritz on Monday, the Toast to Tales. There's a career fair that's going on the whole time. And there's all sorts of happenings all over town, like Monday, 12 Mile Limit hosting drag bingo from 4 until 6 at the bar. This, of course, is the bowling event. So much fun. You can join a front porch welcome at the Virgin Hotel. There are happy hours all over town with famous guest bartenders happening all over the city. And 2 recommendations. You can buy a $175 group of whatever events tickets you're interested in, and that will get you a tasting room wristband. And then there's also a tasting ticket package at $175. That gives you 5 days of tasting rooms and Meet the Distillers event, but there's also lots of other things to do, like check out Beyond the Bar for free. Love that word.
Okay, great. And Pig and Punch?
Oh, Pig and Punch. I almost forgot. Thank you. This is a fundraiser that they do in conjunction with Hogs for the Cause, and that ends, it really is the big ending point, Friday, July 29th, from noon until 5 p.m., just $40, and it takes place on Frenchman Street between Charters and Royal Street. There's going to be lots of great barbecue, lots of great cocktails, and it's tons of fun.
All right, thank you so much, Poppy. And moving over to George. George, such good news. You're back in town. You all were away for about 2 years, and your gallery is back on Julia with a slightly different address, but just a few doors down. One of the things that I'm especially excited by your vast body of work, sir, is your versatility. And we're going to show some of your paintings as we chat. But you are classically trained, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I classically trained in the sense that I studied architecture first at Tulane, then I switched over to art, the Newcomb Art Department, and I was taught drawing skills at the architecture school. John Clemmer, Bob Hellman. And,
wow, great names.
Yeah, and it's a lot of my work. Most of it is based on those drawing skills. Mm-hmm. Oop,
there you are with your little model.
Dog.
I love that guy, that gal.
Yeah, I don't know. Years ago, I got that at an art store. It was on sale. It's a posing dummy. People would use them. They put hats on them and dress them up, so you'd have to hire a model.
But what intrigues me so much is that you do portraits. You do scenes from history. I mean, look at the gallery is just absolutely lovely. But you do all kinds of wonderful paintings and portrait of James Gay, and we'll be showing that. And it's just a really nice mix. And of course, your very classical Carnival series of scenes from Carnival, which are paintings that are actually on view at Pete's Pub. And these are etchings based on them, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at that.
I went back and studied with Jim Stagg at Tulane to learn how to do etching.
Oh, wow. And then this, oh my gosh, the In a Cotton Office, one of Degas, of course, most famous paintings. You are doing Edgar Degas painting a scene from the actual portrait. That is just amazing. It's almost like it's a movie scene, George. Are you influenced by the movies a little bit too?
Oh, sure. That's the first thing I ever saw was a movie.
And so you're keeping your hours, and so you're actually going to be painting in the gallery, aren't you?
Yeah, I have. I think picture's worth 1,000 words, and I have 1,000 pictures, and I have 1,000 words to go with it. And I think the visitors to town get a kick out of talking to an artist.
Absolutely. So since you're also a businessman, we just want to remind everybody you do portraits. Okay, always open for portraits and historical paintings, all kinds of stuff.
When I was a kid, my mother brought home a book of how to do caricatures because I had an uncle that had a restaurant in the quarter. And I'd go down there, and there was a guy with a beret on, and he'd go around to all the tables and do these caricatures of people, and there was, and he'd give it to them, or they'd pay him $5 or something like that. And I started doing that at the Laureley Guest House because we had a restaurant at the Laureley Guest House for the guests. And everybody had separate tables. So I got myself a beret and a drawing tablet, and I went around doing all the guests.
So that's how it started, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Well, great. Well, we'll come back to you shortly, but now it's time to move on to Alan.
Having just returned from New York, I wanted to share with our audience several opportunities to see some Broadway shows that won't set you back huge amounts of money. First of all, there's TDF, the Theater Development Fund that runs the TKTS booth at Times Square. You don't have to go there. You can become a member of TDF.org, and lots of affordable tickets are offered through the site and are released weekly through that site. Just go to tdf.org to sign up. That wasn't a month ago that Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical, ended its run. The show, which opened at the Stephen Sondheim Theater in November, shut down due to COVID for 2 months, but never got its audience back. The star of that show was the amazing Rob McClure, who was nominated for Tony this year, just as he was for Chaplin. Last week, Rob McClure assumed the role of Seymour in the West Side Theater's production of Little Shop of Horrors. Now, it is an off-Broadway theater, but that only relates to the size of the house. The actors are all top-notch players. This is a very affordable show with tickets as little as $49, which is about 1/10 the cost of what you pay for a ticket to The Music Man. Rob plays opposite Tammy Blanchard as Audrey. Christian Borle in a number of roles, and of course he's actually been a 2-time Tony Award winner, and Stuart Zagnit as Mr. Mushnick. Here's a photo I took of Rob and Stuart after the show last Friday, and another of the two of us. It was also announced last week that Mr. Saturday Night will be closing. It's based, of course, on the movie that starred Billy Crystal as comedian Buddy Young. It's a grand, old-style Broadway musical, a big production with big numbers by the cast, and maybe the most Jewish show on Broadway. Also playing his daughter is the amazing Shoshana Bean. She sings as well as any performer on Broadway and was, in fact, a former Elphaba in Wicked. If you can see this one show before it closes, I really recommend this one. Aside from its star, the music is written by Tony Award winner Jason Robert Brown, with lyrics by Amanda Green. She's the daughter of Adolph Green of Comden and Green fame and Phyllis Newman. And speaking of Amanda Green, one of her earlier collaborators was with Tom Kitt, that came up with the musical High Fidelity based on the novel and later movie of the same title. It only lasted 13 days on Broadway. But Tom, who wrote the music for the recent Tony-nominated Flying Over Sunset, won a Pulitzer Prize and a Tony Award for Next to Normal. He's performing, of course, solo at Feinstein's 54 Below in another week. He just performed there this last week, and I saw him, and I was very privileged to be able to take a picture with him as well. Also, I was in contact with Brian Batt, who's working on a new reading, and Michael Cerveris, who's hanging out in New York recording some loose cattle tracks prior to his coming back to his adopted home of New Orleans.
All right. Thank you so much, Alan. And now back over to Poppy.
You know, I love to tell people about things that unless you're an Instagram maven, you might miss. And one of my favorite off-the-beaten-track places these days is Chance in Hell Snowball. And I'll tell you what, you've never lived until you've had it. Now, that's Kitten and Lou. They are professional entertainers, and they're right there on the corner of France and Burgundy in the Bywater. These are people who perform regularly in Las Vegas. So this is a very special pair, and this is a pandemic porch pop-up. And they craft all their flavors with local ingredients in combinations you may have never heard of before. They always have their nectar cream, and I had a fig snowball that I will never forget. Ooh. I really didn't know how they could get the flavor of figs into a snowball. There's some other folks. You get all sorts of people down there enjoying these snowballs. But the fig was done with roasted fig. Now, this is something new they're going to be doing this weekend. And they are down there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 2 until 7 p.m. This is a snowball flight. So you can pick your choice and try all sorts of things, like this weekend, blueberry, lemon cream. They always have Arnold Palmer. They have a ginger basil plum that I loved. They have a lemon basil this weekend, a chocolate raspberry. I've had their thin mint. Oh my goodness. And they have a house-made vegan condensed milk. And they can stuff your snowball with ice cream. My favorite maybe is the Doggo Snow. They have organic low-sodium chicken stock that they put on snowballs for the neighborhood dogs that happen by. And the snowballs start at $6. You can get a flight for $9. And in August, don't miss Kitten and Lou at the All-Ways Lounge on Friday, August the 19th, where they have put together a cabaret-style show entitled Fever Dreams. I know this is going to sell out quick, so get those tickets and go see my friends Kitten and Lou. I really love them.
I love this. I can't wait. And did you say fig? Oh my gosh, Poppy.
Oh,
is that good news? I'm gonna have to check
it
out.
I mean, the flavor.
Sounds good. Thank you. And back over to George. And George will be showing, of course, some of other of your artworks. But I know you've always been an aficionado, if you will, of Italy. So one of the paintings. Well, first of all, the painting behind you. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Mount Etna. That is just gorgeous, and it's fairly large, isn't it?
Oh, it's about 6 feet, 4 feet by 6 feet. It's a view of Taormina, and that's obviously Mount Etna in the background.
Mm-hmm. Well, you speak Italian, don't you? I know
well, I used to.
Yeah, okay.
I think I lost all of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you certainly like that. I am so intrigued. I went and visited your gallery, and you have a nice space, too.
Oh, it's pretty. It's real nice. And a nice, beautiful wood veneer floor.
And the lighting is good, too. Now, this is a newer work, isn't it?
That I did for a company up in North Carolina, American Assets. And it depicts a sort of a history of Charlotte, North Carolina. The queen is Queen Charlotte. That's who the town's named after. And there's various figures. It's a big railroad town, so you get the railroad figures at the very end.
And also, of course, I mean, once again, you're so versatile in your topics as well. But this is something, and you're with Your Heart in Rome. This was based from a series, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did a series of pictures that were, they were rip-offs of the column of Trajan. This is Trajan talking to his soldiers. And well, you know, I like to steal from the best.
Absolutely. And this, of course, is out of a window from Perugia, and that's what you're sort of sitting in front of as you're speaking to us, too. But between landscapes and historic images and historic scenes, and by the way, if my viewers, if you haven't been to Pete's Pub, those incredible paintings that you did, over, 20 years ago at least, scenes from the New Orleans Carnival.
Yeah, that's my Sistine Chapel.
That's your Sistine Chapel, right. Those are true. Those are great. And we should remind you of everybody that a few years back you did the poster for Rex.
Oh yes. It was the first Rex, Louis Solomon.
And I've got to say that you have one of the nicest websites for an artist too. So everybody check out the website that you just saw.
I didn't do it.
No, I know, but I mean, you ought.
I wouldn't know how.
Your art is definitely on there, though, George. Very, very impressive. Well, great. Well, now time to move back over to Alan.
In other local offerings, Peggy, don't forget that Henry IV Part 1 is continuing at Tulane's Lupin Hall in the Dixon Hall Annex. It's directed by Burton Tedesco. It stars Michael Harkins and Silas Cooper, among many others. Henry IV Part 1 is being offered for the very first time by the New Orleans Shakespeare Festival. You can check it out now through July the 30th at the neworleansshakespeare.org. Also on the Tulane campus, lest we not forget, Rent caps off the 3-show season that Tulane Summer Lyric has had, and that's going to be Jonathan Larson's Rent following Bandstand and Into the Woods. Tulane Summer Lyric being seen at the Dixon Hall August the 4th through the 7th. Go check it out, Jonathan Larson's Rent. And Tennessee Williams is alive and well. The Tennessee Williams Theater Company is presenting another one of its productions at the Marigny Opera House, and this time it is Summer and Smoke, opening on August the 5th. You can check that out at the Marigny Opera House through August 21st. And August will also be the month when Lucy Faust and Andrea Watson will lead a cast of 4 in the Pam Jens play Dusa, Stas, Fish, and Vi. Aside from Lucy and Andrea, we'll also have Desiree Burrell and Susan Gordon completing the cast of 4 women who are all sharing a London flat. The show will be seen at the upstairs of Bryant Park. That's an indoor facility at 1131 Chapatulas. Again, Dusa, Stas, Fish, and Vi.
Thank you so much, Alan. And a P.S., Henry IV, I did have a chance to see, and I thought it was an amazing production, and especially a Falstaff and of course the actors, Mike Harkins, but it was a really strong cast. And the sword fight, talk about well done. I actually ran into Robert Lyle, who of course was the head of the opera until recently, and he told me that he was really impressed because he's choreographed many a sword fight, and he found this one to be especially impressive. But kudos to the entire cast of Henry IV. Thank you, Alan. And the documentary Streetcar Stories was produced in 1995 by the late Michael Mizell-Nelson and directed by Matt Martinez. The show is full of wonderful memories, including from former streetcar conductors and NOPSI or New Orleans Public Service employees. There's also an important history of the 1929 streetcar strike and stories of the streetcar's connections to poor boy sandwiches, Mardi Gras, jazz, and religion, as you will see in this exclusive clip with musicians Lulu and Danny Barker, writer Tom Dent, and WYES's own Errol Laborde. The narrator is Phil Melanson. Take a look.
While Carnival comes only once a year, streetcars have provided daily evidence of New Orleans' Catholic heritage.
I remember riding the Canal Street streetcar, how it almost became a religious experience. And one image I have is as the streetcar would pass in front of those churches, seeing people almost in unison in Catholic New Orleans make the sign of the cross as they passed.
Making the sign of the cross had nothing whatsoever to do with the amount of deviltry or evilness that a person had. They would just go right on, if you have an argument, you'd be calling each other names and make the sign of the cross and keep right on arguing.
I also remember always seeing a lot of women saying the rosary while they were in the streetcar too, and so it was like pilgrims or something, but there was really a spiritual tone to riding the Canal Street streetcar that nobody remembers.
Now the priest had to come in the back way and they had to pay the fare, but the nuns were free. And that came about during the epidemic, like the yellow fever epidemic, and they worked so hard helping the nurse people that when it passed, to honor the nuns, they permitted them to ride all the streetcars free of charge.
While following a Creole wedding tradition, one newlywed couple used a streetcar as a honeymoon vehicle.
When we got married, my people were Creole people, and you had to stay inside till like days, and when you come out, after you're married, you come out. So we went to the movie, and we had to get the streetcar, and see when we come out, everybody's waiting for the bride to come out. They'd be out on the steps, and and we didn't even know him, but he had to tip his hat. And I had to say good evening. And we walked 2 blocks to get to the streetcar to go to the office. We were so glad because he tipped his hat and I'd say good evening. And we were so glad when the car came and we got in the streetcar, well, then nobody knew it. We were the bride and groom, And we went to the office and we come back that night. That's when they cut the cake on the 8th day.
Streetcar Stories. Wow, I can't wait to see it all over again. It airs next Monday at WYES on July the 25th at 9 o'clock right here on WYES. There is also a newly restored version with extra footage available on DVD. For more information or to purchase, go to the online store at WYES.org. And a quick reminder that 2 other local documentaries air this Saturday at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. Vietnamese cuisine in New Orleans and Latino cuisine in New Orleans. Both were produced by Suzanne Pfefferly Tafur with Lenny Delbert. Suzanne sadly passed away recently from cancer. She's so missed. And now it's time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Peggy, I have to point out that image of the nuns getting on the streetcar, those are Ursuline nuns, and that is the photo of when they took the streetcar from the second convent, the Plantation Convent, to where they are today on State Street. Isn't that something? I love that picture. Okay, little pick of the week. My heart belongs to Creole cream cheese, and Chef Jimmy Setchum has created an entire menu for Broussard Summer Special that's going to run right through the end of August. It's their Salute to Creole cream cheese. It's 3 courses at dinner for $55. And they also, I learned, have a brunch for $47. It illustrates how Creole cream cheese can be savory and sweet. Don't miss it.
All right, thank you. And George, White Linen Night, will you be there?
Oh, I'll be there for sure, yeah. I enjoy every minute of it.
And of course, that's August the 6th, and it's from 5 to 10 p.m. And all the action's going to be going on in that 300 to 600 block. And of course, you're in the 600 block. But you've been through many a White Linen Nights. That's a hoot, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. Unfortunately, though, my white linen suit's been packed up, so I'll be dressed in blue.
Okay, we'll forgive you this time, right? So glad you could be with us. And Alan.
This past week, Peggy, Queta Cavalier and Kim Collins both tied for the Stage Door Idol competition. That means the two of them will go on to the finals. The contest continues this coming Tuesday with another 10 candidates vying for the title of Stage Door Idol 2022. Don't forget, all shows start at 6 p.m. The finals will be held on August the 16th. Again, that's Stage Door Idol at the BB's Stage Door Canteen. And I'll see you at the theater.
Okay, Alan, we hope you feel better, too. You're quite the trooper. And my picks, the Louisiana State Museum presents their annual NOLA River Fest. And that is a day of local music performances. All kinds of great folks will be there, I'm telling you, including Greyhawk Perkins and Detroit Brooks. I think we have a little bit of a list there. We'll show you some of those. Look who's going to be there. Gee whiz, Jason Neville and so much more. Plus, there'll be a panel discussion and presentation too throughout the day pertaining to the mighty Mississippi. For art lovers, of particular interest is the 3 p.m. panel discussion, and that is about how the river provides inspiration. Ron Theron Ratliff and Simon Gunning, and if you've never seen Simon Gunning's incredibly large, beautiful canvases about the river, you check it out. They'll be interviewed by documentary filmmaker Kevin McCaffrey. All of this is free. What a deal. And there will be food and, of course, beverage vendors on the grounds of the Mint right there on Esplanade at the river. Go to NOLARiverFest.org for more information about all of that. And before we go, George Schmidt, I'm going to put you on the spot here. For a future painting, what would be a topic that you'd like to tackle next?
The next thing I'd like to tackle, I don't know. Like I say, it's the next thing I tackle. Something shows up in a dream, or you might be reading it, and it's called ekphrasis, where something that you read forms an image in your head.
Ooh, sounds great.
Well, yeah, but history is particular like that. When you read a history book, and suddenly you see the image in your head. Ekphrasis. Remember that term in your travels.
I will. Well, thank you all so very much. Glad you could be with us, and thank you for watching. Good night.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.